Okay, now we're back. This is going to take a little time, more time than what we thought, talking about your testimony, because we're kind of like breaking it down, you know, and to me it's very, very important.
Yes.
Because you being a teenager and me having a teenager and being, you know, my teenager coming from a broken home,
yes.
It's very, very important, you know, for me to ask you certain questions. As a parent, okay, there's always fear involved. Okay?
That's true.
Okay, you already have the guilt of not keeping the family together.
Yes.
So that's one big thing.
Right.
Then there's another fear kicks in when you feel like, you know what, you're not having the control that you need to because your teenager is just going, you know, their own little way.
Yes.
Because in some way, form, it's like, you know what, this is not what my life's supposed to be. I was supposed to have my mom, I was supposed to have my dad. God was supposed to keep them together. I don't care for church, I don't care for anything, you know. So the fear that I'm going to say, me as a mom, is for my boy to one day just meet this one person and just like, boom. So how do you fight that fear, you know? I mean, the fear is the mother, the father of many, many other little emotional distress.
I think that's a great question, and that word fear is very powerful. Fear is as powerful as faith, as powerful as love. I mean, fear is a very destructive, though, unfortunately, word. Now, in the Word of God, it talks about, you know, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but that is a reverence, that is a respect, that is an honor when it's used in biblical terms. But the kind of fear you're talking about is the kind of fear that's destructive. Now, if we look at the Word of God, God said that He did not give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power and love and a strong mind. Power and love and a strong mind. So when fear starts to enter into you, then that's when you have to be, again, remember I was telling you about being focused on your children, you also have to be focused on yourself. When you start to see yourself leaning over towards the fear, that means you need to get back over to God over here. We need to get some prayer time. We need to maybe read some Bible. We need to, you know, start speaking faith-filled words. I cast out fear. For those of you who are Christians, you understand some of this. If you're not, you'll understand what we're talking about. Is you have to take authority over your thoughts, because thoughts have power. Thoughts can create your whole life, and if fear is one of them, it can destroy your whole life, right? And so when you run across those times, that's when you say, no, I don't accept fear. I'm just going to believe that God is going to help me. I'm going to believe, that's it, God, I'm believing that you're going to help me. I'm just believing. I'm not going to fear. Because God, you didn't give me fear. Where does fear come from then? It comes from the enemy. Again, for those people who understand the Bible, it comes from Satan. It comes from the devil. It comes from that evil side. Okay? Well, you just said you cast out fear. He said cast out fear. I'm turning fear into faith right now. And so you have to be real conscientious that you don't let that fear get too deep into you. Because sometimes it's harder to get out, right? The longer. It's kind of like people who get into bad habits. The more you do the bad habit, the harder it might be to get out of it. So you want to try to catch it in the bud, if you will. So that's kind of part of how you want to come over that. Even if if the fear is so intense, get on your knees. Not just stand, get on your knees and pray, God, I really need your help. This fear is overtaking me, and I don't want that. Does that help a little?
Oh, it helps a lot. And I think we're going to have to do like another little show just specifically for those three main things: fear, love, and faith.
Yeah.
You know, because it's all in your mind.
Yes.
And we have control over that.
We do.
So why is it that we allow fear versus faith? You know?
Yeah, that's good. Well,
love versus hate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why?
That's good.
What is it that if it's the same and it's controlled the same way? But we're gonna have to like break that down.
Yes.
In another subject, because I think it's very, very important for, you know, the people out there to know that we do have control.
There may be 100 of these, so you better get a pad and a pen, maybe a few pads and a few pens, because there's going to be lots of these. Because, you know, one of the things that Carl and I have in common, and God really brought us together, and maybe someday we'll talk about how this all came together and how we came together. You know, our whole mission, if you will, is to help you to get over from maybe fear to faith, from unbelief to belief, I mean, that's really why we're here. We love people. We're called by God to do this, and we get excited about doing this. It's just for us, it's a blessing. And we honestly and truly believe that it's a blessing to you too. That you're being blessed by this. Because we're just people just like you. That we're exactly the same. And so, like I say, we're just here to help you and to nourish you and to get you over into belief, because there's so much power, as we talked about in other segments. The power of belief is so powerful. If you believe in your doctor, we'll just use that. You go tell everybody about him, so we can see the power of believing. And if you believe in God, oh well, blessings, favor, and miracles.
Right, and you know, I myself had to go through a process to relearn a lot of the things that I can say. I started going to church when I was 17. I was raised as a Catholic as well, you know. But 17 is when I can say that I attended a Christian church and all that those years. But I never ever really heard or came across a message that said your mind has a lot to do with a lot of the prayers, that unanswered prayers.
Yes.
But like we said, it's going to have to be another one.
It's a process, so just keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. You will be glad that you did.
Okay, so going back to your teenage years.
Yes.
Okay, so you rebelled and all that and everything. You wanted to be famous. You went and how did you become famous?
Well, I mean, you have to have an avenue for fame, right? Whether it's, an actor, a singer, a movie star, Broadway. I mean, you have to, an astronaut, I don't know. But you have to find the avenue. My mother was a hairdresser. And so one day I went to a convention with her. I didn't want to go to college, although if I had to go over again, teenagers, young people, I would probably go to college, because education is much more important now in your time than it was in my time. So school is so important. I know you probably don't even like it. A lot of teenagers don't like school. Education is so important. Force yourself. Push yourself. Finish school. Finish school. But anyway, so I had this hair. So I went to this hair show, and I saw this person on stage with like thousands of people in the audience. It was a hairdresser, and he was demonstrating styles and cutting and all of his techniques. And I said to my mom, "What is that?" Because I had never been to one of those before. She goes, "Well, they're called educators." Well, I want to become one of those. And she says, "Well, that's like becoming a famous movie star. There's only 500 of those in the country, and there's over 1 million hairdressers."
Wow.
Oh, well, you know what? That's what I'm going to become. I believe when I saw that, it was like, Carla, like a bell went off. That's my ticket to fame and fortune. Right there. I knew that moment when I saw that person on stage, that's where I want to be. And I believed from that moment that I saw it, I was going to be there. That was it. And I went to, a week later, I signed up and went to beauty college. And that was the beginning of my career. Just because I believed I could do that.
And
I saw something.
Vision.
I had that vision. I'm going to be up there. My mother said, "Don't get your hopes up." I said, "Mother, trust me. I'm going to be up there." I had such strong belief. That's what I'm saying, this power of belief. If I looked at that and said, "Oh, I could never do that," disbelief, not going to happen. But my belief was so strong that there was no way it couldn't happen. That's why believing is so, so, so important. It's just so important. So that was sort of the beginning of the believing. Now I got something to believe in. Right? Now I got excited. My life was starting to, oh wow, a reason to get up in the morning. Because I have something to believe. That's the power of believing. You get up in the morning, I was like, wow, I have this dream, and I believe I'm gonna make it happen. And so I had so much excitement and enthusiasm because of that, just believing that one person that I saw up there. Very important. Believing is, and we'll be talking a lot more about that, obviously, in further shows. But believing is so important. Just think about it. Believe in you believe in your father, your mother, your friends. You believe in church. You believe in your job, your boss. You believe in whatever, your doctor, your move. You believe. The power of believing. We're going to be talking more about that. That's why the show is called Believe. God bless you.